Dear public, entrepreneurs, investors, and partners, it is my pleasure to welcome you tonight to the 10th edition of the Startup Champions Seed Night. Before we start, I'd like to introduce you to our two other organizers. The three of us will be your host tonight. So please, Jordi.
It's a great pleasure, everyone, to be here with you. I'm Jordi Montserrat, the co-founder and managing partner of Venturelab, and I wish you an excellent evening.
Isabel Casado from the VPI, working with startups in the Tech Launchpad. I'm delighted to be here. I'm very excited, and I'm looking forward to all the pitches.
Thank you. And so they will be joining me after. And I'm Laila OJ, EPFL Alumni Director. So you cannot imagine how much we would have loved to have you in person tonight on campus at EPFL at the Rolex Learning Center, especially for this 10th edition. As this is not possible, let us all imagine that we are together, feeling the excitement of the 20 amazing entrepreneurs in the room who are on the starting blocks to convince you to invest and support them. So 10 years ago, just like them, Sophia Genetics, MindMaze, and Abionic were in the room and pitched with the same passion and drive. So did over 180 early stage startups who made their beginnings in this contest. They are today making the headlines, creating employment, driving innovation, and contributing to making Lausanne a European hotspot for innovation. So a big tribute to them. For the 10th anniversary, it is important also to thank warmly the creators of this fantastic event, the A3 Angels, who are all EPFL alumni. A big, big applause to them. And also to our partners for their support from the start over the years, namely the SPI, the Service de la Promotion en Économie et de l'Innovation, Innovo, Swisscom Ventures, EY, and Kelleher's Cara. All of them take an active role in supporting entrepreneurs, and they will have the opportunity to tell you how they do that tonight. So get ready for the competition. Here's the program. So after the welcome words from the organizers, we will have the pitches. So group 1 and 2, so 5 startups per group will be pitching. Then we will have our first keynote speaker, Camina Macra, CEO of Frontiers. Then we will have the startup competition, so group 3 and 4. And while we have our second keynote speakers, the Alexandre Gonthier, then we will have the jury deciding on the winner, the final winner. So at the end of the plenary, we will have another hour where you'll be able to network and also meet the startups. So few housekeeping rules before we go. So only the people who are connected on Vertly can vote and network. So I think you can still log in if you want. Stay awake as this will go fast. And we need your votes. So there will be the 4 groups, 1 poll per group. So the public will be voting for each group, the winner of each group. So answer the poll as soon as they open on the screen, please. Then you can also use the chat to interact and support all the startups and also engage with us on the social media using the hashtag SUChats. So we count on you, please. I mean, it's really hard not to be all together in the same room, so we need your votes, and please use the chat as well. So that's, so before I go on, I just want to say a few words about EPFL Alumni. I really have the honor to manage this community of 37,000 talents around the world with 28 chapters. We do a lot to support startups. We try to also support EPFL and through different events and a special innovation program. As you can see, many startups have been supported by the amazing mentors that we have within our network. So I will now pass on the floor to Ursula Össele, who's the Vice President of Innovation for EPFL. She joined EPFL recently after a brilliant international career in innovation and venture capital. She's an EPFL alumna after completing her PhD in physics. Ursula, please, this is your turn.
Thank you. So also big warm welcome from my side. It's a great moment for all the startups. So can you please switch sides? So we here from the innovation team are actually here to help connect the EPFL community to the Society of Switzerland. And in this, we believe we should have an open innovation community ecosystem, which you are all part of. Because on the one side, we have all the innovation providers, whether it's a research lab from EPFL, or it's the SHUV, or it's IMD, or it's a startup, we're all providing innovation. On the other side, we have all the innovation takers or buyers, which can be a corporate, an SME, or a government who is interested in something. And then in the middle are all the innovation enablers, whether it's all the mentors that are in this system or the venture capitalists or so putting the money. But we have a common objective, and that is positive impact for society. So I'm looking forward to really driving this open innovation community, and your contribution and participation to make it lively is very key. Next slide, please. So from an EPFL side, to support the startups, we have now converged a little bit the different programs to have two kind of key starting points. One is the student path, and the other one is the tech path. Let me first quickly talk about the tech path. The tech path is when, the EPFL community, there's some kind of great science or research that merits to become a startup. So here, the tech is available, and we support the different stages to actually bring the solution into a product or an innovation that gets ripe enough to become a startup and then go to such pitching events as here. Then we hand it over to all the investors and the VC community as to scale and grow. On the other side, there are lots of people who actually want to become entrepreneurs. And this is where we have developed advancing the student path, where students who want to become entrepreneurs get soft skill training, mindset training, capabilities, whether it's design thinking, customer validation, whether it's team, whether it's some kind of business training. They usually work in projects, and as they move along, some will go into startups, but others will also become entrepreneurs in corporates or in companies or in governments, because there's a higher and higher demand for that. So we hope to create lots of entrepreneurs, lots of startups out of the EPFL community. And finally, last slide for contacts. This is your contacts at EPFL and your team. Please join us. Please stop by. Please ask us for questions. We're here to help you. The more fun we have, the better it is. Jordi, it's your turn. Please take over, and good luck to all you startups.
A very big thank you, Ursula, and a very big thank you for continuing and supporting this thriving ecosystem here at EPFL. It's my pleasure to be here and to introduce Venturelab. Many of you, maybe in the audience, have already heard about us. We are here over 15 years supporting high-tech startups out of Switzerland with our motto, world-class startups, Swiss-made. The Swiss quality that you're going to see tonight, great opportunities, great technologies, great science, supported by wonderful entrepreneurs. We do this across several programs, and those programs are namely VentureKick, Venture Leaders, the Top 100 Startups, or the InnoSwiss Training. As you can see, they are all here to give, like a menu, to you, young entrepreneurs, the tools that you need and the acceleration and the extent and the access to the network in order to develop your startups and to reach maximum potential. This is what we're here for. You find all the information on the website. One program in particular I like to call the attention is, of course, VentureKick. VentureKick, since 15 years, over 800 projects which have been supported, 40 million invested, comes in complement to the several tools that you have seen, what you find at EPFL or in other universities and in other partners across Switzerland in order to boost your business development. And these tools are here with 150,000 which come in pre-seed at the very early stage to bring your business case to a level of development that will be supported by entrepreneurs. Complementary to this, you also have today the InnoBooster, 150,000 Swiss francs grant to develop your technology to go to market. And in addition, if you reach stage 3 and you obtain stage 3, since the beginning of this year, we have the Kick Fund, which is here to add a potential 850,000 in investment into your company to put you in the best position to bring your startup to investor and to raise the necessary fund for the next steps. Those tools are here to support you And it's a great pleasure, of course, to see some of the companies we see tonight, but many also of the companies in the alumni that are now striving, which together have raised over 4 billion and have been able to bring their innovations to market. To continue, it is my pleasure now to introduce our sponsors, two of our sponsors for tonight, in particular, Raphaël Kuntz, a very active member of the support of the ecosystem startup from Canton de Vaud, followed by Patrick Barbet, who will be presenting the activities of Innovo. Thank you very much, Raphaël, and thank you subsequently, Patrick, for joining after Raphaël, for being here, for supporting us, and I'm happy to pass you the floor.
Thank you very much, Jordi. Thank you to the organizers of this special seed night on a virtual, I would say, platform. We start to become quite used to that, but I think we would be more than happy to see you again, entrepreneurs, investors, in a real world where we can do some networking. So I would like to address you the welcome also on behalf of our Vaud authorities. We are very proud to be sponsor and partner for many years to this platform. And I would like to just mention what makes this event and platform so unique for us and for all the different entrepreneurs and partners. It's probably because all the stakeholders of our innovation and startup ecosystem are converging at the same time in one and single platform. Successful and promising entrepreneurs, academics with our MIT, our EPFL, very important to us for the Canton of Vaud, the community of investors with the presence in our region of many business angels, VCs, that I must say that we are very also lucky to have a very active community of business angels that really help to drive also the development of startups. Corporates, of course, as well as governmental agencies such as our Office for Economic Affairs and Innovo. So all the ingredients of a performing and successful innovation startup ecosystem are there. And that is proven every day by facts and figures. The international rankings of EPFL and our academic research institution, very recently the CHUV, is getting higher and higher. The number of creation of startup spin-off is increasing every year in Canton of Vaud. The number of scale-up is also increasing. I must say that Patrick will give you some figures, and this is also quite a unique place, Canton of Vaud, for scale-up companies, as it will be proved by Patrick. The concentration of talents is unique. The level of fundraising by startup and scale-up from Vaud is also the highest in Switzerland with the Canton of Zurich. Many innovative hubs are growing fast, such as drone and robotics, AI, machine learning, digital trust, and cybersecurity, food and nutrition. So what about the action and the contribution of the governmental bodies in favor to innovation, startup, and entrepreneurship? We are investing in Canton of Vaud roughly 15 million every year, 6 million through grants dedicated to SMEs and startups for innovation, market development, industrialization, and training of the technical and scientific staff. 600 projects from 300 different companies have been supported last year in a year where it was tough in regard with the pandemic. 8 million are dedicated every year to organizations that support innovation and entrepreneurship, such as Innovo, FIT, that provide direct loans, and the 6 technology parks in Canton of Vaud, which altogether integrates 600 companies and more, and represent more than 6,000 jobs only in these 6 technology parks, such as Biopol, EPFL Innovation Park, Aeropol, Y Park, and of course also the Atelier de Renan and the Micro Technology Center in Sainte-Croix. In regard with the COVID pandemic, we have set up last year a program together with the Confederation to provide bank loans with a full state guarantee up to 1 million. More than 130 startups benefited from this support, and the amount of loans reached over 35 million in total. Vaud was clearly the most supportive canton in Switzerland. Finally, we have just launched a new fund of 50 million dedicated to support projects and programs, the financing of startups through the FIT, as well as the development of new hubs and innovative projects related to digitalization. As you can see, we are fully dedicated to innovation and startup in Canton of Vaud. But at the end of the day, what makes the difference is the entrepreneur. So I would like to finish my speech by congratulating all entrepreneurs, not only the one that will pitch tonight, really all entrepreneurs that take risk and that contribute every day to make our region more competitive and more attractive in terms of economic development. Many thanks for your hard work and for making this world better. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Raphael, for joining us. And I would like to pass the word now to Patrick.
Thank you very much, Jordi. Good evening. It's really great to be here and to participate for the 10th time. Innovo is supporting startups, scale-ups, and SMEs, and also larger companies in their innovation projects. Together with the Foundation for Innovation and Technology, the FIT, and the Office of Economic Affairs, we are the access door to financing, coaching, hosting, and promoting your innovation. Our Scale-Up Vaud program is now counting 34 high-growth companies that correspond to 3,500 jobs created. And they show the potential and dynamism of our innovation hub. The latest round of NextThink of 180 million is an example of the steady growth of VC investments that reach almost 500 million Swiss francs per year in the Canton of Vaud alone. And now Innovo is also helping foreign companies set up in the region with fact-finding visits or help with work permits, for example. That means we also get interest from foreign investors who want to discover the Swiss ecosystem, and we see really an increasing interest from that group. We are a team of 16 people dedicated to support and accompany the entrepreneurs, so don't hesitate to contact us at innovo.ch or on Twitter or LinkedIn. And tonight, really, this is a great showcase of Vaud innovation with most startups that are supported by us in one way or the other. And I really encourage you to discover them and wish you great pleasure discovering the different pitches. Wishing you a great evening. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Patrick, as well, for this introduction and again for supporting us for everything you do for startup. And now we are entering the heart of our event, which means the startup. So let's jump into action and basically jump into the startup, which we will have tonight, which are presenting 4 heats of 5 startups, which will compete first to get to the final. And you see here the rules, 90-second pitches. Each winner will get the public vote, and we are now going to explain in details how this public vote works in order for the finalists to be selected and for our jury, which we will present at the end of the session, our jury to select who is the big winner of our final of our event today. Now, of course, at the start, already the congratulations to all of the startups. Remember, it's not about winning tonight, importance about making sure that you connect to all the investors which are here in the room, but to also all ecosystem partners. How is this going to work? On your left side, you can see that you have the small poll button. So make sure that this poll button is open for you so that you can see the results. When we will launch the poll, basically, you will be able to answer. So we are now going to run a small test in order to make sure that everything is proper for you and that you can vote for tonight. And with this, that would be tonight the 4 groups every time there will be a poll. So here now, when you see on the screen the test, you make sure that you choose your answer, and you see that we have a question for you tonight. It is, last year, 2 billion were raised by Swiss startups. How many do you think that we raised this year? Do you belong to the people who are worried and pessimistic? Do you belong to the people who are very optimistic? I could add the question, how much only from venture key startups? And you see me voting as well. So I make sure that I am voting properly in tonight's event. I am repeating the platform with you, and I can see that actually many of you are taking the middle way, even if several of you are actually moving forward and thinking that, yes, we should reach the 10 billion. I hope that will be the goal for tonight. In all of this, to say that with this, we have now the results. You can see the results. I definitely aim for the 3 billion that we will have, or maybe even the 10 billion. This is the testing. Thank you very much, all of you, for voting. And you see how it's going to work with the startup. We don't have now anything else to do than to jump into our first series of startup. And it is my pleasure to welcome the first 5 startups that will be presenting tonight. We are talking of Origin Food, Everyone Therapeutics, Energo, School Rebound, and Tune Inside. Thank you very much, all of you, to be here. I hope you're ready. You have received the rules. During the pitch, for all of you, just that you know, what I will be disappearing for all of these startups. I will be disappearing from the stage. When you see me coming back, you know that you only have 10 seconds left. If you go over your time in the 90 seconds, this is what you will hear. So make sure, I'm actually putting it here, that you don't come above this timing, because we'll have to interrupt you for the sake of tonight. The little ring means it is really finished. So with this, I am very happy to give the floor to our first startup for Origin Food. The floor will be yours. Pierre-Yves, are you ready?
Yes, I am. Do you hear me?
Wonderful. We hear you very well. So Pierre-Yves, we are ready to listen to you. The next 90 seconds are yours. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Jordi. So good afternoon to all of you. I'm Pierre-Yves Bridel, representing Origin Food. Origin Food is marketing digital solution to improve traceability and collaboration, as well as to reduce risk in supply chain. We focus on product compliance and product traceability. Our solution is based on industry standards and best practices and leverages technologies like mobile computing, cloud solution, and blockchain. The value we bring to our clients lies both in process automation as well as gaining access to real-time and trusted supply chain data. In addition, our platform forces a collaborative approach that enables business improvement across the stakeholders of the value chain. We launched our first application in January this year, and we are live with customers. The feedback from our current and prospective client is extremely positive. Now, Origin Food aims to raise capital in the order of 400,000 Swiss francs, with the intent to accelerate product adaptation to new industry and strengthen our commercial team.
That was perfect. I just had to make the small ring. Thank you very much, Pierre, for your presentation.
You're welcome.
And of course, I can only wish many votes for you, as well as for the next team we'll be welcoming. It's a pleasure to welcome now Maximilian from Everyone Therapeutics. Welcome, Maximilian. How are you doing tonight?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you very well. Doing well?
Excellent.
Ready for the 90 seconds?
Absolutely, whenever you want. So Everyone Therapeutics is a gene therapy company, and the problem we want to address is a common rare disease called amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, or ALS. ALS is a devastating disease, and every 90 minutes, someone is diagnosed or someone passes away from ALS. The disease is caused by loss of motor neurons, resulting in paralysis and death. And there's no cure for ALS. So the life expectancy of ALS patients is between 2 to 5 years. Now, among the 250,000 patients living with ALS, some of them have specific mutations leading to the disease. And we can address those specific mutations with a gene therapy approach. And the first we address are those with the SOD1 mutation. So at the core of our value proposition, we have a bicistronic gene therapy platform, which allows the selective co-targeting of 2 central nervous system cell types, the astrocytes and the neurons. And out of this platform, we have developed a first candidate product called AVR001 to target ALS with mutations in SOD1. So the advantage is that we can maximize the therapeutic efficacy and reduce the risks of target's effect. What is also interesting is this, with this dual approach, is that we can address other subtypes of ALS and other neurodegenerative disorders. Thank you for your attention, and thank you for supporting Everyone Therapeutics.
Thank you very much, Maximilian, for your presentation. Great. So I hope everyone got this opportunity. We were here in biotech. We have the pleasure to welcome now as next presentation, Exergo, Alberto.
Good evening. Good evening. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you very well. Great. Welcome, Alberto. Where are you now? Just out of curiosity.
I am working from home, as most of us.
I was wondering where you were, if you were far away. Anyway, it's a pleasure having you. And Alberto, the floor is yours. You are now on the screen. Welcome.
Thank you very much. In Switzerland and in Europe today, more than 30% of greenhouse gas emissions come from heating and cooling our cities. Thanks to the energy transitions, technologies burning fossil fuels will be replaced with eco-friendly district networks. Today, low-temperature water networks are the most eco-friendly solution and uses low-temperature water as a heat transfer fluid. Unfortunately, these solutions require large pipe diameters and create long and expensive roadworks, bringing noise, dust, traffic perturbation, and a lot of disease in our cities. At Exergo, we offer a solution to utility companies and municipalities, which allows to reduce by 3 times the pipe diameter and allows to be 5 times faster and easier in the implementation phase, resulting in a 50% CapEx and an 80% OpEx savings. By using CO2 instead of water in a closed circuit, Exergo enables simultaneous heating and cooling at maximum efficiency. Thanks to market-available heat pumps and other plug-in equipment, our technology is market-ready. We are currently finalizing our pilot plant in Sion, thanks to a 2.4 million francs grant, and we are in advanced negotiations with utility companies in 2 strategic projects in Switzerland. Internationalization is also a way to go, and we have closed a deal to deploy our technology in the Middle East. We are today closing a 1.5 million franc seed round for a 7 million pre-money valuation, and this will be closed on September 30 this year. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much for your pitch. It's been a pleasure welcoming you, and that was our company, Exergo. To continue this series, we have the pleasure to welcome Thibaut from School Rebound. Welcome, Thibaut. How are you doing?
Thanks. I'm doing well. Thank you.
Wonderful. So I think that you are all ready for the next 90 seconds, all popped up. So let's jump into action, and we are listening.
If, just like 25% of children you are at school with handwriting difficulties, your life will be a pain. Your life will be a pain since handwriting is a central aspect in a lot of activities. Consequence of that, there is a great correlation between these difficulties and failure at school. One of our goals at School Rebound is to detect these handwriting difficulties the earliest possible in order to provide the most effective remediation. For that, we developed an handwriting test on an iPad. On using this iPad has the great advantage that it captures the dynamic of handwriting. Contrary to the current tests that are conducted on paper, where you just have access to the final static information, an image if you want, with the iPad you can capture all the process that leads to this image and that contain way richer information. So with machine learning, we can get a complete handwriting analysis of any child in any language in less than 30 seconds. And as you can see in this slide, handwriting difficulties vary from one kid to another. So instead of providing the same remediation to these 4 kids that have totally different type of handwriting difficulties, we propose a personalized remediation. For that, together with more than 50 therapists, we develop several remediation activities that target specific aspects of handwriting. One activity for the pressure, the tilt, the shakiness, the dexterity, the precision, and so on. So with School Rebound, every kid will have an early, fast, reliable, and personalized remediation. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you very much, Thibaut. It was a great pleasure listening to you. So we jump to the final presentation tonight with Tune Insight. This will be the 5th presenter of our first heat. And Juan, I hope you're hearing me well.
Yes, I hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, we hear you very well. Thank you for being here tonight. Are you ready for the next 90 seconds?
All set, yes.
Wonderful. Then the floor is yours.
Today's organizations are heavily data-centric. More than 56% of the companies in the enterprise data and analytics market acknowledge that their own data is not enough to make critical strategic decisions, and they plan on expanding their ability to source external data. But this is prevented due to risk of data leaks or because of data privacy concerns and regulations. TuneInsight B2B software enables secure data collaborations between a network of organizations, empowering them with valuable collective insights from always protected confidential data in the whole network, while they remain in full control of their own data. This is possible thanks to the use of a state-of-the-art technology, efficient and scalable multi-party homomorphic encryption that we have researched and developed at the EPFL Laboratory for Data Security. Applications are countless, and during last month's incubating at EPFL, we have produced a fully functional pilot enabling better personalized medicine, tested and deployed at Swiss university hospitals. We received 100,000 francs of non-dilutive funding through an EPFL InnoGrant, and we are working since September 2020 on 2 proof-of-concept prototypes in cyber defense with Arma Swiss and in insurance with Swiss Re. Both POCs are paid by customers for a total of 400,000 francs. If you're interested in knowing more about our solutions or want to participate in our upcoming seed round, do not hesitate to drop us an email to contact@tuneinsight.com. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Pablo. It's been great listening to you. It was sharp and to the point. So, to all of your audience, imagine the choice, the amazing choice that we just presented to you in the food market, biotech market, therapeutics, education market, clean tech reduction of CO2, or right now, as we've seen, our last in the IT and in the data management. So in that case, let's make sure that you vote, that you decide when you see the startup that you prefer, you vote for it when you see the voting. So make your choice wisely. This is a good investment. I am voting at the same time that you are doing it. So let's see with whom I would like tonight to make my investment, and let's see tonight who will be chosen. We can see that all of the startups are attracting quite a bit of voting. There is some lead right now that is going on. Is it going to be across education, across biotech? It seems to be very, very dense. We will leave it voting for about 10 seconds, a little bit more. And at some point, we need, of course, to close this voting, and we can see that for this session, congratulations to School Rebound. School Rebound seems to be the winner of tonight. It's a pleasure. Thibaut, congratulations. You are the first selected company, School Rebound, first selected company to go to the final. I am coming back, and it's my pleasure now to make sure that Isabel gives you the best presentation for the second series. But before this, Isabel.
Thank you, Jordi. Wow, really impressive pitches. So congratulations, Thibaut. Before we move on to the second set of pitches, I'm delighted tonight to introduce you to Laila Aganovic from Swisscom Ventures, Investment Director at Swisscom Ventures. Laila is an alumni from EPFL. She holds a master's in communication systems. And after a career in finance, she joined Swisscom Ventures in 2019. Swisscom Ventures is a big supporter of our EPFL startups ecosystem and has invested in numerous startups, including pretty successful ones like Can-Do and like Sophia Genetics. And more importantly, they are a long-term partner of this event. So thank you very much for your continued support. And Laila, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. I am part of the great Swisscom Ventures team. And I wanted to tell you just that for us, venture capital is really about people. It's about sharing similar values and goals and building success stories together. That's exactly why when we decide to invest, it's always about finding the right match at the right time for us and also for you entrepreneurs. So Swisscom Ventures is a team of 12 dedicated professionals with 15 years of history. We invest in the digital transformation of our economy with a focus on ICT infrastructure and cloud, enterprise solutions, applied AI, cybersecurity, digital health, and robotics. We have made 71 investments and 39 of these were in Switzerland. We had 28 exits and 3 IPOs. On average, our entry ticket is anywhere between 3 and 7 million Swiss francs, and we invest anywhere from seed stage to pre-IPO. We like to lead our Swiss deals and invest with strategic partners in the US and the European Union. Diversity is a core strength of this team, as each of us sees different risks and opportunities in every investment we do. We try to stay as flexible as we can to support your success, no matter the challenges. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Laila, and thank you again for your support to this event. With this, I would like to start our second group of pitches tonight. We have, again, same thing as before with Jordi. We will have 5 pitches, and then we will go on to the voting at the end of them. So with this, please, Jean-Philippe from Swisscast, I'm delighted to have you here. Can you hear me well?
Perfectly. Good evening, Isabel.
Good evening. I am going to be as strict as Jordi with the timing. And I have the same little bell next to me. So welcome. Best of luck. I pass you the floor.
Thank you very much. We know that outdoor sports and well-being industries are booming. Swisscast is a platform to track outdoor races and events with 100% reliability and connectivity. We are a highly investable team, including 4 companies and 2 individuals, bringing over 60 years of experience in business management, events and timekeeping, motion analysis, geolocalization, UX and UI. We have developed the most accurate, reliable and compact live tracker on the market. We already have the commitment of 4 famous world iconic events in ski mountaineering, mountain trail running and cycling, Patrouille des Glaciers, Matterhorn Ultrax, Verbier e-bike festival and Tour des Stations. Every year, we will equip over 6,000 races around the world, which reaching 8 million participants. So yes, we're going to change the world of tracking outdoor sports. We hope you are interested to learn more about this exciting opportunity, and we look forward to telling you more. Thank you.
Thank you very much. You were right on time, and we all cannot wait for all these sports events to pick up again and to go and cheer all our sportsmen in Switzerland. So with this, I pass on to our second startupper tonight in this group. That is Frank Bonnet from Bionomus. Hello, Frank.
Hello, Isabel.
You hear me well?
Yes, I hear you well. And
Perfect.
Do you hear me well?
Absolutely. Thank you very much. So, Frank, I pass on to your slide. The floor is yours.
Some of you are probably wondering, what is this thing? An alien from another planet, maybe? Actually, this is the embryo of a fish that is developing inside its egg. It is a zebrafish, an adopted model animal commonly used in research. These embryos have remarkable properties. As you can see, they are naturally transparent, so it allows researchers to observe all the tissues and organs developments. They share 70% of genes with humans, as fish are also vertebrates. They also grow rapidly, and they are not considered as animals because their nervous system is not fully constructed, which is then a very convenient alternative to reduce the number of adult animals used in research. Because of these amazing properties, these fish embryos are more and more used. It allowed already to find new treatments to cure genetic disease for kids. It is a model for toxicology testing, and it is a promising model for diagnostics of serious diseases such as cancer. But here are the current issues concerning this embryo. They are rather small, 1 millimeter diameter, thus complicated to manipulate and screen. They are produced at large numbers, so the processing is tedious and costly. Thus not efficient for being deployed as another tool for high throughput research and diagnostics. At Bionomus, we believe in this little guy, and this is why we have set our mission to develop tools to automatize the processing of this little fish so our world can better benefit from its capacities. So if you are an investor and would like to bet on the future model organism, I would bet on this one. You never know, maybe it will allow us to find new treatments against the future deadly virus or simply be the new laboratory mouse. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you, Frank. So I still haven't gotten the opportunity to use the bell, but I'm hoping one of you will let me use it. Thank you very much. So our next team, Patrick Biro, it's a pleasure to see you on the other side.
Hello, Isabelle.
Hello, Patrick, presenting us Energo. So Patrick, I pass your slide, and please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much, Isabelle. So hello, everybody. I'm from Energo Technologies. We are a startup from EPFL and GVD, and we're developing fuel cells. So just to give a context, there is around the world 20 million small gasoline and diesel generators, which are emitting altogether the same amount of CO2 as carrying 20 million people from Geneva to Rio de Janeiro back and forth by plane, which is quite a lot. We at Energo, we're developing small and light fuel cells that are 3 times more efficient than a gasoline generator, are not emitting any noise, and they are fuel flexible. Meaning that the same unit can either use propane or hydrogen. So in the worst case, if you just have propane, you're still 3 times cleaner than a generator. And if you have green hydrogen or renewable propane, then you are 14 times cleaner, which is quite nice for the planet. We have tested a proto at scale in February, and now we are moving to have a full-scale unit working, operating around in summer. In terms of market figures, we are tackling what I call a super niche market that is big enough to be appealing and small enough to avoid too much competition, which is 4 billion. And we identified the last 9 months, 3.5 million potential yearly sales. And there we have already 1 pilot running with a potential customer. And yeah, if you're interested by our project and you want to be already involved in the early stage, come and discuss with us and vote for us, obviously. Thanks. I had my own timer.
Yeah, you were right on time, but I was really excited to get to use it for once. There we go. Thank you very much, Patrick.
You're welcome.
Thanks. Your team. And then we move straight on to our 4th project. That's Imodi with Jérôme. Jérôme, can you hear me well?
I can hear you. Good evening.
Excellent. Good evening to you, Jérôme. Best of luck. I pass on your slide, please.
Did you know that the leading cause of knee pain is osteoarthritis? This disease affects over 500 million people worldwide and is associated with reduced mobility and working disability. The main challenge of osteoarthritis is to get the diagnostic early enough. The Imodi solution consists of a smart wearable and an analytic platform. Concretely, the patient just needs to put the device on and perform some simple tasks, such as walking and bending the joint. The test in itself takes only a few minutes. And we collect data related to acoustic to quantify the cartilage damage, kinematic to assess the motion of the joint, and thermal to detect any inflammation or infection. After we combine all these information together using some machine learning-based algorithm to reach an overall knee score. This score is representative of the joint integrity. Our non-invasive holistic approach can be used at each step of the patient journey, from the prevention to identify the patient at risk, to the diagnostic to support the practitioner choosing the correct therapy, to the rehabilitation to monitor the changes in the joint. We have already performed a trial in public hospital and in top orthopedic clinic, and we are now looking to raise funding to fulfill the medical regulation and enter the market. Thank you.
Thank you. Perfect and very much on time once again. You guys are very impressive. You're all on time. I'm sure you've practiced your pitches with all your family members. So thank you to them for listening over the last weeks. We go on to our very last one from this round 2. So Romain from Uzufly. Romain?
Hi everyone, can you hear me well?
Yeah, we can hear you really well.
Cool.
So Romain, I put on your slide and please, the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. Hi everyone, I'm Romain Kirchhoff, founder and CEO of Uzufly. Nowadays, municipalities follow these 3 main steps for each urban development project: planification, design, and communication. They rely on outdated Google Maps data to visualize the current site conditions. They rely on slow and expensive surveying methods to assess the initial construction area. And they rely on static 2D illustration to promote future urban projects. This process leads to extended project timelines and budget, miscommunication between project stakeholders,
and legal disputes brought by public communities due to a lack of proper communication. UserFly revolutionized this outdated workflow by generating ultra photorealistic digital twins created from images captured by drones. These digital twins are then used by municipalities to unlock the full potential of urban digital technologies. They have access to recent and highly detailed data of current site conditions. They can even integrate 3D design options. They can share technical sites condition instantly to help architect firms design their urban projects. And they have a fully immersive 3D environment to promote urban projects in dynamic videos. UserFly brings the urban development industry into the digital era. Thank you very much for your attention.
Thank you very much. That was right on time. And so now, same as for the first one, same as Jordi explained before, it's time to vote. We had, once again, a very varied projects. We had projects with medtech, we had projects in sport, we have projects in energy, we have projects in drones. So we will now launch the vote, and please, we count on all of you to vote. I'm actually going to vote too. There we go. Do we see one coming out? Ooh, it's pretty tight, so continue to vote, continue to vote. It was great pitches, so I'm not surprised that it's a tight one amongst everyone. I see it's still moving a little bit there. We seem to have one winner. I'm leaving it because it's really very, very tight. I close it now, and congratulations to Patrick from Energo for winning this one. It was a very close one, but congratulations to you, Patrick. And with that, that was our second one. I pass on to Laila for the next group.
Hello. So I'm back, and I have the pleasure. We're going to have a little intermezzo now, and we're going to welcome our first speaker. It's Camina Macra. She's the co-founder and CEO of Frontiers. So Kamila, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, great. So I'm just going to introduce you, and then after the floor will be yours. So Kamila was born actually in Poland, and she grew up in Germany. She studied psychology at Technical University of Berlin and did her master thesis at the Max Planck Institute for Brain Research. This is where she started to go into this area. She then did her PhD in the Brain Mind Institute at EPFL, focusing on autism, where she's today project group leader. So she's still doing research. And at the same time, in parallel, she started Frontiers in 2007. She co-founded it, and is now today one of the largest and most impactful open science platforms in the world. And her mission is to make science open for the benefit of humanity. So Frontiers is over 800 employees, 1 billion views article already, 14 years after its creation. So let's hear about this amazing story, Kamila. Thank you. The floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Laila. And wow, it's a great pleasure to be here and to listen to all of these amazing pitches. It's a lot of fun to vote. I'm glad I don't have to pitch, but it almost feels like it. So let's get started. If you put up the slides, I do get a few more slides than all of you. So last year, if you go to the next slide, last year, the COVID emergency actually achieved the absolutely impossible in science. It opened up the scientific literature. Last year, more than 280,000, if you go to the next slide, more than 280,000 coronavirus research articles were published. And by mandate of the White House, supported by various other organizations, these were all brought over the subscription paywalls and made accessible to the entire world, freely and openly. And that strategy worked. It triggered a lot of collaboration, and it delivered solutions. It delivered effective treatments, and it delivered the vaccines for COVID in a record time, never seen before in human history. But what was then rightfully achieved for COVID actually still needs to be achieved for many other research areas. Cancer and cardiovascular diseases, for example, kill nearly 30 million people every single year. And the vast majority of this research is not yet made open. It's behind paywalls where many researchers and innovators just can't access it. So the story of frontiers is linked to this. I experienced this during my PhD at the EPFL as well. And it's connected to one of the first research articles that I published on autism, which you can see here to the left-hand side. On the right-hand side, you see us in action in the lab together with my husband, Henry, with whom I started Frontiers. You see my stepson, Kai, who actually has autism and who inspired a lot of our research. So when we summarized these results, we submitted them to a research journal where it actually took nearly a year to get peer-reviewed, maybe even longer. And once it was published, it was behind a paywall, and the EPFL at that time did not have the subscription to that particular highly specialized life science journal. So I ended up buying this research article with my own credit card in order to access it. So this is nothing unusual. In fact, that is the experience that most researchers make when they publish. And rest assured, there is no research university in the world, not Harvard, not the EPFL, that can actually buy access to all the research journals out there. About 14 years ago, we decided to do something about this, and we started an open science platform around the world's great researchers with the goal really to provide them with technology that would make the entire publishing process simpler, more efficient. But at the same time, the mission was, and it continues to be, if you go to the next slide, to really make all of science open. So that would enable everybody with a chance of a healthy life on a healthy planet. It started quite small and modest back in 2007 with just a handful of people who at that time used to work after lab hours on the weekends, quite hard. A year later, in 2008, we received a small investment from our angel investor that allowed us to rent the first office at the EPFL, not much bigger than 20 square meters. We had the first couple of people, as well as software engineering team in India. And then over the years, it grew. Today, as Laila said, we are over 800 people across 8 countries, headquartered here in Switzerland, the UK. The most recent office that opened was in Poland. But in any case, all of us are working from home right now for more than a year due to COVID, as all of you, I guess. We're neuroscientists, so we started this platform, this open science platform, around neuroscience initially, but it very quickly fanned out into many different academic fields. Today, it's about over 100 Frontiers journals spanning about 850 academic disciplines. So very multidisciplinary. If you go to the next slide, we are focused now a lot on the sustainable development goals, such as building journals around sustainable food systems, the cities, and of course the climate emergency. Other areas of content that we cover is really emerging and hot topics around blockchain or artificial intelligence, and now of course a lot around the COVID-19 pandemic. We've been continuously growing over the years. So here you see growth over the last couple of years. Every single article that is submitted to one of our journals is rigorously peer-reviewed, has to meet quality standards. In 2020, we accepted over 52,000 articles, rejected many as well. This actually puts Frontiers, if you go to the next slide, these numbers make Frontiers the 12th largest publisher in 2020. Our mission is to make all of science open, so to flip the system. So our ambition, of course, is to continue to grow, always at the highest quality. And the way how we achieve this quality at scale is really by merging human expertise with cutting-edge technology. So on the human side, each article gets reviewed and certified by really a network of the world's best researchers from all the top universities that certify the quality of every single article. On the tech side, if you flip even to the next slide, Frontiers is actually quite a sophisticated technology platform, but one of our crown jewels is artificial intelligence, or an artificial intelligence review assistant, or IRA, as we like to call her. And IRA helps us to quality check every article. And many of these checks are actually not even possible to do by humans, but they are quite simple to do for a machine algorithm. An example of this is potentially manipulated images that this artificial intelligence can detect, as seen here with these little circles on these images. Impossible for the human eye, but very easy for a machine algorithm. So this interaction between technology and human expertise leads to the certification of quality of every single article. This, in fact, can be measured as in citations achieved to articles. And when you look at that, Frontiers was in 2020 the third most cited publisher out there, topped only by specialized societies such as the chemistry societies. But amongst the multidisciplinary publishers, so those that publish across all of academia, we were actually the #1 most cited, ahead of well-established ones such as Elsevier or Springer Nature or Wiley. And that is quite an achievement for a young company. The articles also are viewed and downloaded really from all over the world, which just demonstrates how powerful open science is. But it is not surprising, because modern economies, as well as our health systems, they all very heavily rely today on science, as we've seen and experienced firsthand during the COVID emergency. But as I said as well at the beginning, the COVID emergency is not the only emergency, or not the only research area, or not the only emergency that we're facing. If you go to the next slide. Well, in fact, I lost my train of thought here, but yeah, the scientists, when it comes to the COVID emergency, scientists actually did deliver solutions for COVID-19 in record time, and that was really thanks to open science. But again, it's not the only emergency. There's much tougher ones even to solve. Currently, if you go to the next one, where there's a hard challenge that all of humanity needs to solve, and that is really the climate emergency. And I do believe that science will deliver the solutions, but it is only if we make all of our science openly available will we be able to deliver these solutions fast and in a timescale that will matter to save lives as well as livelihoods. So thank you very much for listening, and I'm looking forward to discuss with you.
Well, thank you, Kamila. This is fascinating, and the impact that you're having with this platform. And I just wonder, actually, when back in 2007, when you started actually Frontiers, did you imagine you would get to that point? And what have been actually the key milestones and successes?
Well, to tell you the truth, when we started, we thought we would be successful much faster, that it would all actually go much faster, because we thought that maybe it would take 5 years or so for the subscription system to crumble, and open science would be the new default model of publishing, because the idea really is so compelling. So it allows you to innovate faster, do more research, fosters collaboration, and so forth. But I think what we underestimated, and what every young entrepreneur underestimates, is the stickiness of the system and the resistance maybe to change. It requires more than one single company to be successful. It requires an entire ecosystem to buy in, universities, funders, even governments to switch the system. And that's a long and probably lengthy process. But I think that's the probably true for any type of system, or for any of these ideas that we heard today. I think, like what really makes or breaks it, or what makes companies successful, is to be able to articulate your ideas very clearly. Whether you're a young PhD student or a young entrepreneur, I think it really boils down to having a very clear goal and being able to articulate as well the deadlines, put it into measurable goals as well, and then really break it down into very small steps. That is something that we are completely obsessed about.
Mm-hmm. Okay, thank you. And just a quick, you've already given one advice, but I just wonder, how do you manage actually to continue to do research while being CEO of such a big company now? And any advice to PhD students who are considering, for example, launching their startup based on their on their research?
Well, look, when we started, much of this was happening after hours, after lab hours on the weekend. So it's really hard work, and it requires quite a lot of endurance, very little free time. I transitioned at some point in time. I'm actually no longer a researcher. I run Frontiers, and it has been a very difficult decision for me. But, at this stage, it really is no longer possible. But yeah, I think everybody knows that already, who's sitting out there, that they're working hard on very free little personal time, particularly when they started off.
All right. Well, thanks a lot. This was really amazing, and good luck with Frontiers. And now I will pass on the floor to Jordi. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And I'm back. I'm back because we are continuing the next series. But before this, it is my pleasure to introduce another supporter of tonight, which is Kelleher. All of you startups, you need support. You need the best support, particularly when it comes to legal. And actually, that's why we have the pleasure to have tonight Alexandre. Alexandre, thank you very much for joining us. And thank you very much for everything you do for the startups.
Thank you very much, Jordi. I hope you can hear me. My name is Alexandre. I'm a partner with the law firm Kelleher. I'm heading, the startup practice for the French-speaking part. Very happy, very honored to be here. It's always great. We've done that in the previous years and a lot of good pitches. So thank you very much. A special thank to EPFL and to Venturelab for putting up this event, because it's a complicated time, and thank you. We're very happy to be here. You might know that as lawyers, we don't have the tendency of being very brief, and we don't really like having a limited period of time to speak, but I will try to stick to the 90 seconds that I have. And just to tell you that I consider myself as very lucky, and that's the same for my friends and partners at Kelleher, because we discover new projects every day. That's almost every day. That's the case for tonight, for instance. We can exchange with founders. We can try to fix situations when we can, helping fundraising, helping startups exiting. So if my work is great and my life is great, it's thanks to you, the startups, the founders, all the investors in the ecosystem. So that's for me the opportunity to say thank you to all of you. Wish you all the best and good luck for tonight and for your journey as a startup, in this venture. That's really great. And as Raphael said, you bring a lot to this world. So congratulations and thank you for bringing new ideas and good things to this world. We need it. So enjoy, and thank you very much, Jordi.
Thank you very much, Alex, again. And so, yes, great pitches, which is what we continue. We're entering the third heat. And for this third heat, 5 more startups, 5 entrepreneurs here: Biopsomic, C-Square, CleanMotion, SoundMap, and Amiquam. This will be the 5 next startups that will compete now. And the first entrepreneur is ready. We welcome Lauriane. Lauriane, do you hear me?
Yes, I'm ready, Jordi. I'm Julian, by the way.
So it's a great pleasure having you. Lauriane, 90 seconds for you.
Yes, for me too. Chemotherapy. Nobody wants to hear that when they go to the doctor. And yet, chemotherapy has saved the lives of millions of cancer patients worldwide. In fact, the real challenge faced by doctors is the selection of a suitable therapeutic strategy. Indeed, for some patients, prescribing drugs is critical to their survival. but for others, it only dramatically worsens their quality of life. And that's where we come into play. At Biopsomic, we're developing a new liquid biopsy test for cancer prognosis. Basically, from a single blood draw, our technology can evaluate the cancer's aggressiveness and the metastatic risk. Based on these new insights, oncologists can then make a well-informed decision that best suits the patient's needs. Our innovation is relying on the use of specific biomarkers located in exosomes. Exosomes are tiny nanovesicles that circulate into our bloodstream. But more importantly, they play a key role in tumor progression, and they provide our prognostic score with a high-quality biological signal. Unlike other solutions that do not leverage the perks of exosomes, we are not invasive, and our test can exhaustively characterize the disease at any stage. Today, we're open to seed funding discussions, so if you want to help us deliver this breakthrough approach to patients, my name is Julian Dervaux, and let's get in touch. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Julian. Brilliant, right in time. So it's a pleasure having you, having had you. And now we jump to our next startup into the computing world. It's a pleasure to welcome C-Square. Dermot, I hope that I pronounce your name right.
You absolutely butchered it, but there's no problem. Just call me D. That's absolutely fine, please.
Thank you very much for your understanding. I was worrying all night about this, but actually now it's the most important. C-Square. Tell us more about it. The next 90 seconds are yours.
Thank you, Jordi. AI is exploding. It's very compute intensive and expensive. Data scientists have to fill many roles at once. AI as it is today will increase the burden on the environment. To address these challenges, we built C-Square, the affordable, sustainable AI platform which runs on dedicated zero-emission HPC clusters. The C-Square platform is for data scientists and data engineers collaborating to push the boundaries of machine learning, in particular, deep learning training. We covered the entire spectrum, our state-of-the-art supercomputing infrastructure and our software specifically designed with the needs of the AI community in mind, delivered as a service, ensuring data scientists and engineers can focus on where they add value while C-Square does the rest. Incorporated in Lausanne in January 2021, we deployed our first production cluster in April in the north of Sweden, where I am at the moment and where the heat is already being reused, and break through 10K monthly recurring in May after onboarding our first customers. We've raised 450K to date, and now we're raising 2.5 million to expand the amazing team, increase awareness, and deploy more clusters. Join us at C-Square on our mission to democratize sustainable AI.
Thank you very much for this presentation. So we have now the opportunity to democratize AI, as we heard. So we are jumping to our next opportunity, and we welcome Alex. Alex, I should be pronouncing right, but again, most important, Clean Motion. Alex, do you hear me?
Yes, Jordi, can you hear me?
Yes, everything is good. Sound check. So now, Clean Motion, we're listening.
Okay, great. Good evening. So we know infectious diseases can be spread by indirect contact, such as touching a contaminated surface, for instance. Well, it is well known today that door handles, especially the ones in high traffic areas, are an important threat for transmitting all sorts of viruses and bacteria. At Clean Motion, we reduce cross-contamination risk with our unique and innovative self-disinfecting door handle. Well, how does it work? Well, after the user engages the handle, a disinfecting ring swipes the surface back and forth and spreads a thin film of disinfectant. This patented technology eliminates more than 99.9% of bacteria and viruses immediately after each use. This guarantees a clean and safe to use handle for each user without any habit change. So our device is meant for high traffic areas where hygiene is important, such as medical facilities, offices, industrial sites, and public buildings to protect employees and the public. So we have launched a few tests among key customers, and we have promising results and great interest. I'm Alex Horvath, CEO and co-founder of Clean Motion, and our vision is to improve hygiene standards with innovative products. Today, we're looking for investors to launch our first hygienic handles on the market and help us become a global hygiene standard. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Alex. So now we have an opportunity, and thank you for your contribution in our crisis. Here is Clean Motion. The next presentation, we're entering SoundMap. Welcome, Maël.
Good evening, Jordi.
So it's a pleasure having you, and we're ready to listen for the next 90 seconds about SoundMap.
Thank you. Good evening, everyone. Did you know that more than 40 million people in the world are fully blind, and 3 million in Europe exclusively? It is very hard for a blind person to understand his environment. That's the reason why they would typically use white canes to avoid near obstacles, apps and cameras to find the nearest objects, or belts to get navigation instructions. All these devices offer very limited feedback and require a long training. Yet, we live in a world where a computer can autonomously drive a car on the highway, and no comparable device solves all these tasks to give a blind person a clear understanding of his surroundings. SoundMap is the world's first device to offer this. It can be worn as a belt or a harness. The cameras embedded on the device capture the environment, and our artificial intelligence algorithms filter the most relevant information before guiding the users with sounds or vibrations. We have strong partnerships with several hospitals and end users associations across Europe. They have been involved in the process since day one, from the initial sketches to the current product. We've been running tests with 20 patients for a team of 8. My co-founders are Bruno, who's our CTO, Rudolf, our audio engineer, and myself, Maël. We're currently patenting our technology. We have several working prototypes, and we're looking for 700,000 Swiss francs to reach our MVP, grow our team, and change forever the lives of blind and visually impaired people. I'm Maël Fabien for SoundMap. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Maël. And of course, on behalf of all the blind community, I can say thank you for all of your efforts, and for all the investors, here is another cause you can invest in. We're jumping to our final presentation in our third heat, and here we have the pleasure to welcome Bernard from Amiquam. Bernard.
Good evening, Jordi. Congratulations, great event. So good evening, everyone. Delighted to be here to talk about additive manufacturing of metals, which has encountered, as you know, tremendous success in the last 5 years, moving from prototyping to full-fledged industrial production. The most representative example of this is shown here on the left. It's the catalyst turbine by GE, fully designed from scratch to take into account the capabilities of AM, reducing the number of parts from 800 to 12 only. Is a superb demonstration of how AM can change the industry, producing parts on demand and enabling digital inventory. Nice story, however, sorry guys, there is a big secret behind this fairy tale. AM is not really digital. And actually, to tell you the truth, only 30% of the production costs are related to digital manufacturing. The rest, post-processing, quality control, is performed more or less as was done 50 years ago. And this completely prevents metal additive manufacturing to grow beyond the niche markets in aero and medtech. The only way forward is the integration in the process of in situ, real-time, and compliant quality control sensors and systems, as we do, to transform these machines into intelligent, first-time right and data-intensive systems. With our product here on the right, the Amiquam Wireless W1, we are able to monitor the quality of the parts in production. We contribute to the transformation of the industry into digital manufacturing, and we always keep in mind the achievements of the semiconductor industry as our model. Thank you very much for your attention, and I hope for your support.
Thank you very much, Maël, and you're also contributing to making this evening great. From chemotherapy all the way to industrial processes, going through improving the life for the blind, improving the quality, or I would say the cleanness with Clean Motion. We have all the options tonight for investments, so therefore we are ready to go into our final voting. Now is the moment where the vote will come on your screen, and once you see it, make sure that you are ready for the voting. So which company will you choose? That's your choice. We see now all the votings are coming in, and basically the idea is, as I am voting with you, you can see that I am performing also the process. We see all the votes coming in with your choice. Let's see. We do have apparently a fight, a rivalry between two cases, SoundMap and Biopsomic, we will leave the voting coming in. We see quite impressive voting. Thank you very much. Almost 500 people voting from what I'm being told. We are reaching the end of this voting. And tonight, thank you, SoundMap, great pleasure. Mal, congratulations. You are the third finalist of this series. You have taken the floor tonight and you have won this sequence. Thank you. We're jumping into our next series. And for this, I will leave the floor to Isabel.
Thank you, Jordi, and congratulations once again for all those wonderful startup pitches. So before we move on to our very last round and series tonight, we'd like to welcome Mark Hawkins from EY. I do not need to introduce EY, but I would like to underline how supportive EY is of startups. And they actually started their EY Entrepreneur of the Year Award in 1986. So they have been supporting startups from the very, very beginning. It's an amazing competition that really opens the doors to a very large network. So thank you very much, Mark, and thank you for your support to this event.
Yeah, my pleasure. Thank you very much. I'm very proud and privileged to work to be a partner at Ernst & Young. And it's fantastic to take part in this event. I must admit, the ecosystem, the support, the infrastructure for entrepreneurs, for startups in VO is exceptional. Ernst & Young is a global firm, so we see ecosystems and infrastructures around the world. And I must admit, it really stands out here. So it's a pleasure to be here. Ernst & Young with 3,000 people in Switzerland, 300,000 people across the globe. We help businesses with their strategy, raising capital, restructuring. We help on the consulting side with technology, performance improvement, risk, and on the compliance side with tax, legal, and audit. For us, we work across the whole stage of startups from the early stage, maturing, exit strategies, or established companies. Locally, I heard Sophia Genetics mentioned earlier. That's one of the local companies we've worked with, AC Immune, also here in Ecublon. Internationally, we work very closely with the world's first biotech company, Genentech, Apple, you've all heard of, no doubt. So we have a long history and we work locally and internationally. Why do entrepreneurs matter to Ernst & Young? Well, they come up with new products, new services, new ways of working, new business models, new sectors even. And what does that do? That generates jobs, it supports communities, it helps build prosperous societies. And that's aligned with our mission, our purpose as an organization, which is building a better working world. And we have a series of international programs that we roll out also in Switzerland. Isabel mentioned Entrepreneur of the Year. We also have the Startup Academy. We have the Women's Entrepreneurial Winners. And one I'm particularly proud of is EY Ripples. Ripples is a program where we help growing startups that are helping meet the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. And we help them in building up their resilience, their operations, raising capital, and rolling out, particularly in environments that don't have the fortune to have all the infrastructure we have here in EPFL and in VO. So that's a short introduction of Ernst & Young. I'm very proud and pleased to be here. I'd like to wish all the contestants good luck. It's great to hear from you all and hope to speak to you soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mark, and really thank you again for the support to this event and overall to startups from Ernst & Young. So with that, we can now start our very last round of pitches. So I will welcome Alitea Daniel.
Hello, Isabel.
Hello, Daniel. You well?
I'm very well. And you?
Okay, absolutely. I'm really impressed with all the startups we're having tonight, so it's very exciting. So Daniel, put on your slide and the floor is yours. We're good to go?
Absolutely. Thanks a lot, Isabel.
Thank you.
I guess today everyone heard about the PCR, a gold standard for massive COVID testing. It's ideal for detecting one gene in the millions of test samples. But for in-depth sample analysis, the PCR is not really suitable. Humans have 25,000 genes, and in every sample, only a fraction of them will be active. So to better understand the cause of the disease or how the drug works, we need to measure the activity of as many genes as possible. A technology called RNA sequencing makes it possible to test all the genes in a sample at once. But currently, it's very expensive and very laborious. So for a pharmaceutical company testing over 1 million of compounds every year, this solution is absolutely unrealistic. At Alitae Genomics, we developed technology reducing tenfold the cost and the time of RNA sequencing. With our solution, research centers and pharma companies can finally test all the genes in the multitudes of their samples. By providing RNA sequencing at the cost of PCR, we enable the researchers to turn their samples into actionable data for insightful discoveries. Our mission is to revolutionize biomarker research and drug development for better healthcare and faster cure. We are launching our seed round to develop next-generation products and scale up operations. And if you are interested, please get in touch. Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel, right on time. And thank you for that very clear pitch. So
thanks, Isabel.
Thank you. With that, I am happy to welcome Margo from Energo. Margo?
Hi, Isabel.
Hi, Margo. You ready? Everything, you can hear me well?
Yeah, and you?
Yeah, absolutely. Excellent.
Perfect.
On your slide. And the floor is yours, Margo.
Thank you. 80%, that's the amount of energy that our buildings need for their heating and cooling. Renewable electricity is for sure a part of the solution, but this alone is not going to supply all our needs. That is why supplying renewable heating and cooling is actually where the fight against climate change is going to be won or lost. Energo provides the first modular, scalable, and easy-to-install geothermal panels that allows to capture renewable heat from underground environments. Thanks to our patented technology, we are able to turn any kind of underground infrastructures, new and existing ones, into renewable energy supplier for the heating and cooling needs of buildings. And this just by installing our panels on the walls of such infrastructures. So far, and thanks to our supports, we have prototype, proven the tech, talked to customers, and sharpened the business model. And our first pilot is now down the road. We will open soon our seed round to support pilot deployments and prepare the product for the market and its pre-industrialization. Our objective is to turn our geothermal panel into the next solar panels in terms of scalability, penetration to market, and sustainable impact. At Energo, we are on a mission to unlock the energy potential that lies underground, just beneath our feet. So if you want to be part of this, please contact me. My name is Margo Peltier. I'm CEO and co-founder of Energo. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Margo, and I look forward to seeing one of those panels in a parking at EPFL soon, I hope. Thank you very much. So our third pitch in this round, Vito for OmniGrasp. Vito, you well?
I'm great. How are you, Isabel? Nice to see you.
Yeah, nice to see you too. Everything's good. I put on your slide, and Vito, the floor is yours.
Thank you. Would you pick up a strawberry with a pair of pliers? The strawberry would not be very happy. Robotic grippers aren't different. While excellent at handling car components or machine tooling, robotic grippers aren't delicate enough to handle food. At the same time, the need for food automation is higher than ever because of three main reasons. Being up to speed to feed 10 billions by 2050, stop spreading germs through food, and keep the food production up during a pandemic without putting workers at risk. The OmniGrasp soft gripper is a game changer for food automation. Instead of squeezing an object to pick it up, our unique technology is based on a combination of electroadhesion and soft fingers. Think of electroadhesion as a glue that you can turn on and off electrically. we use that glue to pick up the object, while our soft fingers conform to its shape. The food is handled safely without leaving any marks. Our technology is based on more than 7 years of research at EPFL and protected by 2 patent applications. Whether in farms, online food retailers, or supermarkets, we provide the next generation solution for food automation. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vito. That was great. And now our 4th one today, we have David joining us for BioT. David, it's nice to see you. Hi.
Good evening. Nice to meet you.
So let me put on your slide, David, and whenever you're ready, the floor is yours.
Perfect. Thanks a lot. I worked for 2 years for hospitals, optimizing their processes. And I witnessed stressed out medical staff having issues finding working available devices. More recently, my best friend Soufiane went to the hospital in the middle of the night due to palpitations. The medical staff put for 5 minutes electrocardiogram patches all over his body. However, it was impossible to launch the analysis. So first, they had to remove the patches and a large amount of Soufiane's body hair, and then look for another one for 15 more minutes. So we see 3 problems: loss of time, lack of visibility on device management, and a stressful experience for both patient and medical staff. I'm David Compin, CEO of BioT, and we are developing a solution to track medical devices, visualize their information on our platform, and optimize hospital processes. So BioT offers two main benefits: cost reduction and capabilities expansion, meaning device real-time location and status, and a global vision with predictive maintenance and intelligent inventory. With you, your network and finance, we are looking for 1.1 million Swiss francs of seed money. So join us to tackle the challenge. And by the way, the ventilator is at the top right beyond the fence. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you, David, for this presentation on BioT. And now we move from health to space. So Nina, can you hear me well, Nina?
Yes, I can hear you.
Perfect. Space for Impact is the presentation we will have next with you. It's the last one tonight. So best of luck, Nina.
Thank you very much. Hello, everyone. I'm Nina from Space for Impact, and I want to talk to you about space applications. More specifically, space applications on Earth. We often link space with things like NASA sending rovers to Mars, but actually, 3/4 of the global space economy are made up by the satellite industry, which mostly produces services for Earth. You might think of GPS or satellite TV, but also Earth observation. In fact, data from space is essential for our understanding of global challenges such as climate change. There is a massive potential for sustainable business opportunities, which are driven by the growing boom in the new space economy. And that's where Space for Impact comes in. We want to maximize the positive impact of space tech on Earth by boosting its adaptation in new markets in alignment with the UN Sustainable Development Goals. For this, we launch a digital platform where startups can showcase their products and companies from various sectors such as insurance or agriculture can source new solutions. And more interestingly for you, the platform also provides an analytical tool for investors to receive valuable information on space startups. At the moment, our digital ecosystem counts already about 40 selected startups and more than 200 international users. Space for Impact started as a joint initiative of the Space Innovation Unit at EPFL and the ESA BIG Switzerland at ETHZ. At this point, we are supported by a strong network of important space and innovation actors. Space for Impact is a social enterprise, meaning we're non-profit oriented. So today, we want to talk to investors willing to learn more about the investment opportunities in space. Contact us, check out the platform, and join the new space boom. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Nina, for that last presentation. And now we are ready to move to our voting. I have to say one of the most engaging things tonight is just to see the variety that we have. So we went from biotech to energy to robotics to IoT to space. This is really, really exciting for me to see the large variety we have. And now you see that the vote is ready. You're ready to vote. I have to vote as well, I understand. So let me get this right. There we go. I leave it a little bit more. We have one that's kind of pulling ahead, so I let you guys vote. We have, like Jordi said before, about 500 people voting. So really great turn up tonight. But I think we do have a very clear winner, so I will now leave it at that. And Margo from Energo, congratulations, you are our 4th winner today. And with that, we have 4 winners, and now I leave the 4 winners in the hands of Jordi. Good luck to them. Thank you, Jordi.
You're welcome, and it's a pleasure. Yes, good luck to you, all entrepreneurs, because now it's the moment which you have been informed about. So all the startups have been informed that should they reach the final, they will be asked an additional question. For our jury, and you see here the jury, I would like to thank our supporter, Laila, Alexandre, Raphael, Mark, and Patrick. I hope you are ready. You will see here, listen again to our 4 finalists give us their answer to one of the questions which they have been given to prepare. I will take the questions right now, and you can see in a very fair process, I'm just mixing the questions, and I will call you one after the other, just with one of the questions in order to make sure that you are all fairly treated. So to Thibaut, to Patrick, to Maël, and to Margo, I hope you are ready, starting with the first finalist. Thibaut, it was a pleasure having you. We're in the education school sector. And the question is, why you? Why are you the best people ready to implement and to solve this, to implement this solution and to revolutionize the online education? And you have 60 seconds to give us an answer. Thibaut?
Yeah, you hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
So when you go to schools, and I had the opportunity to go to a lot of schools during my PhD, you really see these children that are broken by school. And for some of them, they start to have handwriting difficulties and no one notices, or they don't even care because they think that it will go away with time. And if you want to see a statistic, there is often a huge gap of time, 9 months to 1 year, between the moment children start to have handwriting difficulty and the moment they start the remediation. And of course, during this time, the problem gets worse and worse because children want to stop handwriting and so on. So for technology, we could detect this handwriting difficulty straight away and then start the remediation straight away, and then hopefully avoid this problem before they even start. So I guess that's my answer.
Yes, but I would almost give you an extra 15 seconds. Why you as a person? Why you make the difference?
Why me as a person?
Yes.
But because we are creating some perfect machine learning that works in every language in the world, so that we can expand not only in Switzerland, but in every countries in the world.
Thank you very much, Thibaut. You got an extra 10 seconds. I will give it to the others as well. We're continuing, and we are welcoming the winner of the second series. And of course, it's a pleasure to welcome you, Patrick. I mean, we've been together on this side, now we can be together on the other side. So, Patrick, I hope you're ready.
Yes,
hey, if you get 1 million right now in Energo, what would you do for it? What will you do with it? Ready, go.
You want the real answer, or what the answer you want to hear? No, I mean, I'm kidding. No, sincerely, I mean, it's quite clear. I mean, I will put 1/3 for BizDev because we still need to discover a bit more the market. We've done a good job, but with 1/3, I guess we can reach 10 million in potential sales per year. That would be nice. I say potential because we still have to launch our product. So, and then the next third will be for that to do the installation, certification, and another third for a further development to reach really a top-notch product, re-answering our customer needs. That will be what I will do. And yeah, I mean, 1 minute is way too much to answer this question, I have to say. I mean, I hope it's clear. The objective will be to reach in 5 years, more or less 40 million in sales. I know it's an ambitious goal, but we have to be ambitious. And this money will really help a lot to reach this target, I have to say, especially at our stage.
Wonderful. So that was within the minute, and I think it was perfectly clear. Thank you very much, Patrick.
Thanks,
Maël,
Jordi.
We're jumping with the sound map. So Maël, you get one of the last 2 questions. Of course, you should be ready. And actually Patrick finished with this, what they want to reach in the future. So actually, that's my question to you. How do you envision SoundMap 5 years from now?
So I just start with a small background of why we started this project. So I'm doing a PhD at EDIAP Research Institute, and there's a robotics lab that works a lot on the autonomous driving also. There's lots of innovations that go in this field. And it all started from this frustration to see that there's a field that's evolving very fast, and yet devices that exist on the market for blind people do not leverage advanced computer vision. So where I would see our company in 5 years from now would simply be that people know us as the Tesla for blind people, and have a concrete impact on the thousands of lives across the world. Have several devices, several versions of our device launched, teams of engineers and of business people working on the several aspects across the several continents. So yeah.
So a global company 5 years from now, and all the blind people, I love it, being served. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure, Maël. So Margo, you are the winner of the final heat. Therefore, you get the final question. And you know, in all of this startup as entrepreneur, there is this question: what keeps you up at night? What are the major risks, or what are you striving for? Go ahead.
So at the moment, what keeps me up at night is really our pilot development. We are actually preparing and implementing these pilots, and everything has to be ready. And this is really, really what keeps me up at night, as it's going to be decisive for our market penetration, to convince other adopters, etc. So at this moment right now, this is really what's keeping me at night.
Sure.
Otherwise, in general, let's say, is really to have a product ready for industrialization, all the certification, to really be as fast as possible for the market penetration, and be able to achieve our sales and scaling as fast as in our time frame, in our roadmap, let's say.
Great. So we see that it is all about serving customer, bringing the product. Thank you very much, Margo. To the four of you, but as representative of all of the startups, yet again, congratulations. We know how hard it is to be there, to do 90 seconds, to have to explain the projects where we are working every day. So the four finalists now, actually, as you've heard, the jury will decide who will be the winner of tonight. To the jury who is listening to me, join me in the jury room. I will be with you in a short minute. And basically now it's my pleasure to continue and pass the word to Laila to welcome our second keynote speaker.
Hello again. So I'm really, really happy to, well, first of all, congratulations to the 20 startups. It went so fast. And there's amazing innovation going on there. And I'm sure Alexandre Gonthier, who's watching us and who's going to join us. Alexandre, are you here?
I'm here. I can hear you great.
Excellent. All right. So Alexandre is actually an EPFL alum that I have known. We graduated in the same class in '94. But he was actually in Système de Com in Sophia Antipolis. I remember like going in Nice by the sun and
don't say too much.
It was the second promotion going there, and so this is how I knew Alexandre. Since then, he's done an amazing career as an entrepreneur. He's definitely a real serial entrepreneur and very inspiring person. So let me tell you a few words about him before I give him the floor, because he has some really, really good advice. So to all of you entrepreneurs. So I remember, Alexandre, I think, is a natural-born entrepreneur, and we'll ask him a little bit about this after to know if it's, where it comes from. But right after his diploma, actually, he did his diploma thesis in the Silicon Valley. He flew right away to join a Stanford spin-off in digital processing as their sixth employee. And since then, he stayed in the Silicon Valley for 27 years. And he's just back recently to Switzerland and Lausanne with his family. So meanwhile, Alexandre became the king of online payment. He founded 6 companies with 6 successful exits, selling to companies like Amazon, Intel, and the like, and creating a total value of over 10 billion over all these years. Amazing and quite impressive, I must say. We are certainly very proud of you, Alexandre, as an EPFL alum. And now, as the CEO of Trust Me, so his last company, he was paid with my bank before, he's actually on a high journey. He's finalized his 4th IPO, and he's about to conquer the world with already 650 employees. So yes, this is big. Yes, it's from EPFL initially, so there's something about EPFL there. And Alexandre, you're going to tell us more about your journey. Thank you.
Thank you, Laila, and glad to be here and to see all the excitement, all the activity going on tonight. I'm actually in Lausanne right now, so I'm excited to be here. Look, I've spent 100% of my career, the past 27 years, focused on startups, and as Laila said, I caught the bug in '94 as I had to write my master's thesis, do my research work for my diploma. I ended up in Silicon Valley in a spin-off of a Stanford lab, and I caught the bug. I was employee number 12. In fact, that company was amazing, only 11 people before I joined, but the CEO was Marty Cooper, the inventor of the mobile phone. And it started there. The first day I realized that I was with big players in a tiny company, and that you can make magic happen. So I stayed focused. I started the first company in payments. So I'm a fintech guy. Fundamentally, I'm a fintech meets software person. But I started the first company in '97, IPIN, payments company. Imagine in '97, PayPal was not even around. And we were creating the very first payment methods for the commercial web that was just emerging. That company, after 10 years, was acquired through a series of M&A activity by Intel Corporation. We were solving a problem of consumers wanting to pay for premium content. Premium content today would be downloadable apps that you pay for to your phone. It would be music. It would be premium articles on newspaper websites. We would send those small charges to your ISP bill, your home internet service provider bill. So that was that first business. The second one, Ruckus Wireless. I went back to telecoms, what I studied. It was a smart antenna Wi-Fi router that ended up listing on the New York Stock Exchange. We took it to something like $1.5 billion in value. I was not part of the team. I helped them enter the European market, but I was an early investor because I have most of my time. I'm an entrepreneur. I run businesses, but a portion of my time I've been with venture capital funds, private equity funds, or I've invested on my own. So that was an investor adventure. The next one, Buy VIP, was another adventure as an investor. That was a company between Madrid and Frankfurt, and in the flash sales. For those of you in Switzerland, you all know Coca. Imagine that in Spain, in 6 countries in Europe, and doing designer, essentially fashion items. And it ended up being acquired by Amazon. It became Amazon Spain. To enter Spain, Amazon bought the company to have its initial infrastructure. So that was a great outcome as well. Then I did Paymo, pay with your mobile phone. Now it's called Boku. It's listed on the London Stock Exchange. That one was the same as IPIN, essentially a replay of the same idea, except that as opposed to adding those small charges when you buy content online to your ISP bill, to your home internet service provider bill, we would add them to your mobile bill. And this is just much bigger population. After that, I helped some friends in private equity turn a business around in the entertainment ticketing space, mobile ticketing, so you end up with a barcode on your phone. Today it's clear with the iPhone, the Android platform, but at the time it was not so clear, so you would get a barcode, a QR code, buy the ticket and go at the event, and with a scanner they would let you in music festivals, concerts, etc. So that was the leading mid-market player in Europe, and we combined it with Eventbrite, leading player in the mid-market in the US, and together the company was floated again on the New York Stock Exchange. Today it's probably about $2 billion in value. And most interestingly, or more recently, Pay with My Bank. So at IP, in my first payments business, we created a model which is how you pay directly with your bank account when you're online. At the time, Visa and MasterCard, there were options. No one knew they would win online. So we created that model. It was too early. Visa and MasterCard ended up winning. But today, I saw them in Germany and then in the Netherlands, the model reemerged. So in the US, I built again that model. So that was back in 2011. You are on an e-commerce site, you want to pay, and essentially we enable you on the e-commerce site to sign into, to log into your online banking site so that you can select the bank account you want to use, and from there trigger a funds transfer to the merchant site directly, bypassing Visa and MasterCard. So the vision from the get-go was to build an alternative, a global alternative to Visa and MasterCard globally. Imagine that huge and very ambitious idea from the start. Today, it's over 650 people. We're in 30 plus countries, and we just announced our IPO officially. Last year, we did $250 million in sales, and extremely profitable business, growing 40% year on year. So that's me in a nutshell. Now I'm interested in seeing how I can help you, and so I have prepared a few slides with to help you write your stories. So I don't know where the slide is, but it's not showing. Laila, if you can move forward, possibly.
Sorry, yeah, sorry. Sorry, Alexandre. I don't have the slides actually. I'm sorry.
All right. Well, it's okay. So look, it's okay. It's pretty simple. What I wanted to say is that you're all building companies, and at the heart, a company is a product and a market. It's a very simple equation. Anyone who goes to primary elementary school understands that. It's a plus, okay, operation. It's a product and it's a market. And you have to really think about that hard. It's simple, but it's the foundation. So then talk about the market. And I will say the first thing for you to have in mind, or that I would recommend, is think big. Okay, in terms of market, think big. Think how, from the get-go, think about how you're going to become a $1 billion company in terms of valuation. $1 billion. Why? Why I'm saying this? Because number one, make it worth your while. It's so hard to start a company. It takes so much time, so much effort, dedication, passion. Make it worth your while. Okay? It's just, that's just rule number one. And rule number two is that VCs, if you need VC funding, some businesses don't need VC funding. They can be self-funding, they can be funded by friends and family. If you need institutional funding to grow, then you have to be very ambitious and you have to go after very large markets. Because for VCs, they have investors themselves, they need to deliver a return, and it's a statistical game. For the math to work for them, they know they will lose on the number of companies, so they need those winners to deliver huge returns so that on the whole, they can deliver what they promise to their LPs. So go after big markets. And a story that I can give you is that I named personal stories. I named 3 companies that I started in the payment space. Fund, IPIN, Boku, Trustly. fundamentally, these companies, in terms of technology, in terms of business processes, it's all the same. Payments, technology, right? And processing services. IBM, first company, exit after 10 years of incredibly hard work, about $50 million. So it was a long time ago. But, you know, we were addressing the premium content market, you know, using the ISP bill, the Internet Service Provider bill, in 5 countries, $50 million exit. Okay. Boku, same amount of time, actually even a bit more now. At this point, we're on 14 years. Market cap, $700 million. Mobile bill, many more subscribers that you can address, users, consumers, 50 countries. Trustly, and that's why I ended up going back to payments and doing Trustly. Trustly today, the market says we're worth $8 billion. We will see, we're not listed yet, we just announced it, but $8 billion. That's 10 times Boku's valuations, right? We use the bank account as the way to fund transactions, and we're live in 30 countries. So essentially 100% of the banked population is our target. So it's just much bigger addressable market, e-commerce, utilities, government, gaming, anyone can use us. Market, think big, market size does matter. That's my message number 1. Message number 2 is product. And you cannot underestimate the importance of delivering an exceptional product to market. And I would say that there is one parameter in the product plus market equation equals company equation is precisely product. So focus, give your absolute best, okay? Think Swiss quality or Tesla or Apple, right? You will never get a second chance to make a first impression. Your product is the foundation. I was in Seattle, that's a personal story. I was in Seattle recently meeting with Amazon. And I was with my team there, all my senior team members, and we were meeting. We prepared for that meeting for 3 weeks. 3 weeks nonstop. So this is like going down to just the product, yes, demos, yes, but also slides, presentation decks, absolutely impeccable, not a typo, nothing approximate. 3-hour meeting. After the 3-hour meeting, the sponsor at Amazon, senior exec, comes to me and says, listen, we don't see a lot of companies in Seattle that come so well prepared with such quality materials and present so well how they want to help us. And when you get that kind of feedback, at that moment, I knew we had won their business. We had won them over. When you give love to your customers with an amazing product, an amazing performance when you present your product, they will send that love back to you. So that was my second message. You cannot underinvest in product. Product is the foundation of what you do, is what gives you your raison d'être. One last thought is that product is not technology. Product is more than technology. Product is a technology that's been packaged to meet a very specific market or solve a specific market problem, right? So how you get to product when you start with technology in an engineering school, in a science school, you start with technology always. You have to be in full contact with the market, talk to the market, talk to customers, get no's, get negative feedback. All of that will help you iterate towards what your real value proposition is and how you're going to get market adoption, that product market fit concept. Iteration, be in full contact with the market. That's on product. And the last thing I wanted to share with you is you're gonna ask, wow, this guy, he left for Silicon Valley and now he's back in Lausanne. There's something wrong. What's up with him? In fact, I'm gonna tell you, in 1994, I had absolutely no choice. I'm a natural born entrepreneur. Maybe that's what Laila said. That's not what I would say, but it may very well be what it is. I had no choice. There was no startup scene in Europe, zero. A VC, there were 5 VCs. A VC that would sell a company for 50 million euros was a hero, okay? And it was always American buyers. It was a very small ecosystem. I left and I realized that it was just a completely different game over there. And the reason I'm back is because of you, because I see the energy tonight. I see it's happening. You no longer have to leave. You can actually make it happen right here in Switzerland. If you look, Europe has probably 70 unicorns right now and counting. And Switzerland, I believe, is number 4 in Europe as a country in terms of number of unicorns. It's happening. Trust me, my business right now, I was in the US, but I merged it. We merged with a European-based company in Stockholm. So in fact, today, it is a European-based business as well. And there are very large companies in Lausanne itself, even like Nextink and obviously Sophia Genetics. So you have, and others, there are a number. So my message to you is, you're in the right place. Stay here. You have a real chance now of making it happen. Silicon Valley has become insanely expensive to operate, insanely competitive. You think Switzerland is expensive? Go to Palo Alto, and you will see how expensive that is. Engineers, everything, much more expensive than here. So you're in a great place here. And I wanted to say, if I can help you, just reach out, ping me on LinkedIn, and let's talk. That's my message, and thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Alexandre. This is amazing, and I'm sorry for the slides; they disappeared. So, but you've done amazingly well in giving out your message. So I think that the time is running by. I will just ask you a quick question: is you've mentioned that going for big market and also being excellence in your product is really the basics. And when you mention product, it's the full product, not just the technology, right? But what else does what little advice can you give to the entrepreneurs that are here tonight, for them to succeed in raising the money? And little tip that you can give actually to for that, is it enough? I mean, what else? I mean, is it to be a successful entrepreneur?
I have realized that we only hear about the success stories, and there are many more people who start, and then it's a funnel with people who abandon. And I will say, what has guided me all my life is passion, because I just absolutely love innovation. Okay, it's just what keeps me awake at night. I just want to see how I can solve another problem, but not product for the sake of product. It's got to sell in the market. It's got to meet customer needs. So it's this passion, right? That's one. The second one is a bit more brutal, but it's failure is not an option. I've been guided by this principle that failure is not an option. When you start a business, again, I was 42 when I started the last one. You have a family, you have just very long hours. You can run out of cash, and then what? And then you're in trouble financially. You just have to have this mental model that says that failure is not an option, and you got to carry on that. Of course, if failure is obvious, if at some point you're going to fail because the market has gone away, because something makes it clear, you need to stop. The sooner you stop, the better. But as long as you see that your idea is still possible, you need to keep going.
Excellent. Well, thank you, Alexandre. This is extremely inspiring. Really shows how important the mindset is to succeed. So we are going now to discover who the winner is. So I'm going to ask Mark from EY. The jury's back. They have decided, and so let's see who the winner is. So.
Okay,
So,
there's a short video there.
Yeah.
First of all, may I start by thanking the other jury members, Alexandre from Kelleher's Carrad, Laila from Swisscom, Patrick from Energo, and Raphael for Promotion Économique. We had fantastic presentations today. It's a shame there could only be 4 finalists. So first of all, thank you for the 4 finalists, Thibaut, Patrick, Maël, Margo, excellent presentations, thank you. And it's also a shame there can be only 1 winner, but we were unanimous in our selection. We believe that the winner was well structured, clear, articulate, good product, market potential, and very good response to the final question from Geordie. So stop the suspense. The winner is helping us all in the fight against climate change with geothermal panels, Enderap. It's Margo. Congratulations, Margo.
Thank you. Can you hear me?
And Margo for this achievement, and maybe we have a little diploma for you.
So, and I officially can give it to you, Margo. You received the winner's diploma for tonight. We will send it to you, of course. You know that we are on a stage where it's unfortunately not possible to give it to you. And as well, it comes with the bottle of champagne. So, Margo, I give it here. Thank you. Congratulations, Margo, so that you know we have somebody to offer it to.
Exactly.
But we look forward seeing you in reality to offer you winning tonight's our 2021 Startup Champion Seed Night. Congratulations.
Congratulations, Margo.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you to the jury. Can I say something, or should I?
Say 2 words, Margo, about how we'd love to hear about you.
Yeah, thank you very much to the jury first for selecting Enerdrape. I believe, Enerdrape teams believe that we really have a powerful tech in hand that can really have a global impact, and I'm really delighted that we convinced you tonight. And yeah, I would also like to thank you, the organizers, Jordi, Isabel, Laila, and all the others to through this event completely online. I guess sorry, too much talking tonight. I guess it was quite challenging. So yeah, I was really happy to be featured there, and thank you for all the sponsors, the public to have votes for the session. And congratulations to all the startups, all the innovations that were presented tonight. Some made so many answers to so many problems. We are definitely on the good road. So congratulations also to all the other startups, and yeah, thank you again. It was I'm really happy, and I can speak for the whole team. We are really happy. Thanks.
Yeah. So maybe so thanks a lot, Margo, for this final word. And thanks to the 4 finalists. Thanks to the jury, all the startups who pitched tonight. A big thanks also to our partners, Swisscom, SPI, Innovo, Kelleher, and EY for their amazing support. Also, a big thanks to our 2 keynotes, Kamila and Alexandre. And also behind the scenes, as you mentioned, Margo, this was not easy to do a full online event and with so many participants, and we're really happy that we managed actually to have you all there and gather also all the public. So thanks to the public also for joining us and for being so active in the voting. So a big thanks to the organizers and the ones who have worked behind the scenes. So especially Marie, Julia, Emmanuel, Arnaud for the hard work in making this happen. And so, yeah, and big thanks. So now it's time to enjoy, actually to meet. I know it's not that easy to network, and we would love to be just there going to the booth and, being very spontaneous. But here you can do that too. So there's a networking area that you can go to and meet with other people. So very randomly, so you will be able to meet people. So I really recommend, if you go on the left, you have the networking area. We also have different rooms where you can see the booth actually of the different organizers and startups, at least to remember who they are. But also for the investors and sponsors, they have already one-on-one meetings that are planned. If you haven't yet, there are still a few spots available. So do go and meet the startups there during these one-on-one meetings. You need to book a spot before, so it's in the investors meeting area. It's not. It's specifically open for them. So I say goodbye and thank you for being here. And we see each other at the networking place. All right. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you for joining, and see you in the
networking
area.
Bye.